Iwobi and Robertson down the left-hand side. Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Anfield, where it's Liverpool 0, Fulham 1. Just a few minutes behind the other games. We did have 6 minutes of injury time in the first half, but the long and short of it is that Liverpool are a goal down here and a man down, so it's all to do for Arne Slot's side. But just like in the first half, where they won they had a free kick, and on that occasion it was a foul that was led to a yellow card for Issa Diop. Now Diop's committed a foul and given away a free kick with no offside, so it's going to be a chance for Liverpool inside the first 30 seconds, and this is exactly what the home side need. Myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Warren Ashurst taking through the action. Warren, Liverpool have got to start on the front foot. Even though they're a man down, they can't really think about that too much.
No, they have to play it as if it's 11 against 11. I think you're right, Paul. At the end of the day, you know, you might lose 2 or 3, but you might also get yourself back into it and get a goal and get on level terms, and you never know what might happen from there. But this is a really useful free kick to have a minute in.
Yeah, and it's Trent Alexander-Arnold's ball aimed at the far post. It's hooked up in the air by Jimenez back inside his own box. Then it's still lurking at the edge of the area. Iwobi gets a fortunate deflection. Then he gets the ball back as well. And suddenly Fulham are on the counter-attack. Iwobi is over the halfway line. He's got Robinson as an overlap. That's where the ball has gone. It's a good ball as well. If Robinson can get there first, he can't. That's a superb covering challenge there from Ryan Gravenberch, using all of his defensive skills there as a midfielder, because if he doesn't make that challenge, that ball's going in the box.
Oh, absolutely brilliant from Gravenberch. He knew he had to go full length, and at the other end, Liverpool are breaking forward again.
Yeah, they're on the attack now down their left-hand side. Is it going to be an end-to-end second half, as Gakpo now stopping just outside the penalty area, leaves the ball now for Curtis Jones. And there's a support down the left-hand side as well there from Salah, but the ball is now back at the edge of the area here. Szczerbakowicz trying to switch play. 3 players in the box there for Liverpool. Salah now with the cross from the right-hand side. It's a great ball in, and Liverpool are back into it. 2 minutes into the second half. It's Cody Gakpo with the diving header there at the back post. Salah with the ball in, and Fulham just guilty of giving Liverpool a little bit too much space. And that's the thing about that last attack from Liverpool. They sent men forward. You couldn't tell they were a man down, and they're back in the game.
No, from one end to the other. Fulham almost away at the other end, and now Liverpool are back on level terms. It's a brilliant ball in from Mo Salah. It's one of those where Leno can't come for it, because if he does, he's probably end up getting beaten to the ball anyway, and he's swung it in brilliantly. Gakpo's still got a bit to do, though, because he has to decide whether he throws himself at it or whether he goes with his boot or whether his head. He's brave. He goes with his head. He gets enough on it to be able to beat Leno, and we are back on level terms. It's Liverpool 1, Fulham 1.
Well, there's a Fulham player down inside the 6-yard box. It was Kenny Tete. I think he was suggesting there might have been a foul in the build-up. I don't think there's going to be any kind of VAR saviour there. So it is going to be 1-1 here. It's a really important goal for Liverpool early on in this second half. And, well, we aren't restarting play here. VAR is checking for a potential foul. So, well, we'll wait and see here. I mean, there's a pull on the shirt of Kenny Tete. I think that yeah, the VAR has checked it, and I think it has been given. I think it'd be one of those where there is a pull on the shirt, but you see that 15 times every corner kick and free kick. If the goal was disallowed for that, it would be a controversial, I think.
Yeah, that was very minimal, to be quite honest with you. And I don't think Kenny Tete covered himself in glory there. I think he probably should have been a bit stronger. But I think maybe in his defence, Diaz running offside maybe caused him a few issues. Do you drop in? Do you not? And of course, Gakpo's come round the back and got a head on it, and Fulham have given the ball away cheaply again.
Literally from the kickoff, the ball was laid back to Diop. He plays it forward. It's cut out here by Gravenberch, and Liverpool are straight back into possession. And good work there from Iwobi just to cut the ball out to go out of play. So, well, it's all happening in this game. It's all happening at St James as well, with 2 very quick goals at the start of the second half. Newcastle now lead 3-0 against Leicester. I'll tell you about the goal scorers in just a second, because it's Liverpool on the attack with Gakpo. Gakpo's effort from the left-hand side is low down, and it's a save there by Bernd Leno. But what are Liverpool complaining about here? Because Gakpo is furious about something, as Liverpool have picked the ball up here on the right-hand side. It's Szczerbakowicz goes out to the left. Gakpo with the effort. What's he unhappy about here, Warren?
I don't know. I'm just having a quick look again here as to what happened. Maybe a foul inside the area. It's Joe Gomez who runs in and then gets wiped out by Kenny Tete. I'll be honest, Kenny Tete has got eyes just for Gakpo. So I'm not entirely sure that it was intentional, but there's a massive coming together. Tete has actually come off the worst at the moment, because he's down, head in his hands, needing treatment from the Fulham physios. So watch it again. Gomez running forward.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, because I think that on the one hand you could say that Gomez is having his run into the box stopped by Tete, but then
he doesn't have to move, I suppose, does he?
No, I mean, you see that
standing his ground.
Yeah, I mean, when the player has the ball, they almost know they can run into an opposition player and they'll win a free kick because it's just the way that particular little nuance goes. But here we can see that the Fulham players are concerned about their right back who's down injured. The Liverpool players, meanwhile, are surrounding our referee Tony Harrington to perhaps just suggest that maybe the referees in Stockley Park should be looking at this as well. We haven't seen that purple VAR screen as yet, so I'm not sure if they're even looking at this, but there's going to be a delay now because Tete is down. Yeah,
it's going to be a couple of minutes at least whilst he gets treatment. Just watching a replay again here. So Gomez makes the run. He's running into the area, but like I say, if you look at that, if you're VAR, you look at it and you think, well, Tete's not actually looking at Gomez, he's looking at Gakpo.
The first time he makes any kind of eye contact is when he can see this big defender crashing into him. So I'd be, as I say, I think if the VAR officials are looking at it in that sense, then I think it would be very, very harsh.
You will never hear the end of this from Marco Silva if this is given as a penalty.
Well, I'll make a prediction now. If Liverpool get a penalty for this, I think Marco Silva will get sent off for his protest, because he's certainly one of the more animated referees. And the fact that we've had this long injury break now, but still no VAR screen, tells me that they probably have had a quick look and decided there's nothing
it's
there.
Not. I don't think they'll be giving it. We've just seen a replay of the goal again. By the way, Newcastle 3-0 up against Leicester, as Paul mentioned. They actually changed the goalkeeper at half-time, and it was 1-0.
Oh, they did, yeah, you're right. Dan Ward's come on for Hermansen, and within 3 or 4 minutes of coming on, he's conceded twice. Murphy gave Newcastle the lead before the half-time break, and now 2 assists from Lewis Hall, first for Bruno Guimaraes and then for Alexander Isak. So it's 3-0 to Newcastle against Leicester. No change in the other scores. It's still Wolves 0, Ipswich 1. And it's still goalless between Arsenal and Everton, and they'll of course be very aware that at half-time things were looking exciting at Anfield. Now Liverpool are at a level in this game, so it puts even more pressure on Arteta's side to actually try and win that game against Everton.
Yeah, it does, and they'll be feeling it, bearing in mind that they've now gone nearly an hour and they've not been able to break down Everton, who are very stubborn. If they don't concede an early goal, Everton, they're very hard to break down. I think before they lost away from home previously, I think in the run-up to that, they'd had something like 3 clean sheets in a row on the road. So they'll go there and make it difficult, clearly doing that for Arsenal at the moment, and Liverpool will be well aware of that as well.
Well, Liverpool have got to be, Fulham have got to be aware of what Liverpool are doing here, as that ball was quickly played down the right-hand side. Tete is back on the field, and straight away he just falls over and says, I can't play on. So there's going to be a substitution here. You can see some of the Liverpool fans getting very frustrated here because Tete, I mean, I'm not really sure why he came back on the field, because he's barely been on the field and he's almost fallen over there. He can't stand on his left foot right now, so he is off.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Marco Silva is, are you sure you want to go off? I mean, this is as I say, if this is all an attempt to try and kill a few seconds, then they've been done very well here.
It is. I don't know what Fulham's intentions were coming out after half-time, but they don't look the same side. They look like a team that are nervous. They're worried that something's going to happen. Obviously, Liverpool attacking the Kop end in the second half. They knew they were probably going to be in for a little bit of pressure, and now that Liverpool have got that early equaliser, then they are going to be up against it, even with an extra man. And Tete is sort of pointing to his left knee and saying that got a whack on it, which he clearly did in that collision with Gomez. So Kenny Tete is going to make way. Couldn't quite work out who was coming on. It is, yeah.
So Timothy Castagne, the former Leicester City man, Belgian international, is going to be playing on that right-hand side. And it's pretty much a like-for-like swap. If anything, Castagne is maybe a little bit more attack-minded than Castagne is. Than Tete is.
Yeah, possibly so. But obviously it shouldn't make too much of a difference in terms of that. But yeah. High fives all round from Tete, from the Liverpool players, and from Raul Jimenez as well, to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, just going off, just having a quick glance across the other scores. No change in the Premier League, but just had a quick look here. There's 88 minutes on the clock in the Bundesliga between Mainz and Bayern, and Mainz are 2-1 up in that game. So Bayern, who've been absolutely excellent after a bit of a rocky start for Vincent Kompany, just potentially having a bit of a blip this afternoon. So back to action here at Anfield. 55, coming up to 55 minutes gone. It's Liverpool 1, Fulham 1. Liverpool are down to 10 men. But the start of the second half, you wouldn't have thought so, really. Fulham seem to be under all kinds of pressure. Just as I say that, Berg's under real pressure there from Luis Diaz. Wasn't the best control after a pass from Iwobi. It's now back with Castagne getting his first touch since he came on, trying to use support from Wilson. Runs that ball into Gomez. Fulham with a throw, but it's going to be important now from Fulham's point of view that they try and keep a bit of the ball here, because Liverpool are all over them right now.
I don't know what you think, Paul, but they look a little bit, I mean, lackadaisical is one word, but maybe a little bit too relaxed. Fulham. They were playing with an intensity in the first half that was causing Liverpool problems, and at the moment they kind of like, there's no real urgency at the minute, and that would be my concern if I was Marco Silva.
Well, I think that, has he told them just to take their foot off the gas? It doesn't seem like something that Marco Silva would have told them. They're on the attack here now, just a bit of overcomplicating things for himself there, Anthony Robertson. He got a pass from Iwobi down the left, tried to do a step over, lost the ball, and now it's Liverpool pushing forward here with Gakpo. Runs straight into Lukic, but he has support from Joe Gomez down the left-hand side. It's a good run from Gomez as well. He leaves him. He goes for goal himself, in fact, here, Gomez. Trying to surprise Leno there by his near post, but it's a comfortable save in the end.
It was. Not a bad effort from Gomez. Went for the near post to try and catch Leno out, but wasn't enough venom in it. The goalkeeper gathered pretty comfortably in the end. Talking of goalkeepers, Danny Ward's had a bit of a nightmare so far.
He has. He's been on the pitch for 15 minutes, having come on for Hermansen at half-time. He's let in a third goal, so it's now Newcastle 4, Leicester City 0, and it's the second of the afternoon for Isak. So for Murphy, I beg your pardon. So it's he's on a hat-trick now, and Newcastle absolutely running riot against Van Nistelrooy's Leicester. I wonder how long that's how that's going to play out. Of course, Van Nistelrooy having a very successful time as a coach, coaching at every level, having that short spell as an assistant at Manchester United. But it's a big jump to go from that to a newly promoted Premier League team that haven't got the most haven't got the strongest squad. So I do wonder how that's going to work out. But we'll wait and see, of course, over time. Quite a few teams are still in serious relegation trouble at this stage of the season. Fulham now seeing a little bit more of the ball, but it's all inside their own half. It won't be now finding, it won't be being challenged there in the middle of the park. That's got to be a free kick, surely. And it's, you can see a yellow card as well. He's been happy to give them out this afternoon, a referee. Curtis Jones there with the booking. See what you think of this one, Warren, as Iwobi's trying to get away from him. I mean, the ball's there to be won. Is that a yellow card? I mean, I think there's plenty of Premier League refs who wouldn't be necessarily booking him for that.
I'm a bit old school with things like this because I think that's not a bad challenge, but I think if you come sideways on these days and, I suppose the referee would say it's not completely clear that he got the ball first and he didn't go through the man, I can understand why he's yellow carded him. And I think the fact is, I think Arne Slot's been yellow carded as well in that incident, maybe complaining about the caution, but I think the fact that he's given the yellow cards out earlier, like we said, he's kind of made a rod for his own back a little bit.
Yeah, referees have to be careful. We sometimes do games where we almost think like the referee's almost had a sort of a bet with himself that he's not going to give out a yellow card in this game, and he sort of lets it go until he finally gives one out in the final few minutes, where there's probably been a few challenges that could have got a booking earlier, whereas this referee started early and has been giving them out ever since. Fulham had a throw, and it's Robinson breaking into the box. Just loses his balance there, but he's been supported by Jimenez on that left-hand side. He needs a bit of support here himself, Raul Jimenez. He clips the ball in. Robinson chases it, but Alexander-Arnold reads that one. He hooks it high in the air and up towards the halfway line. Headed forward now by Issa Diop, and it's held up here by Iwobi on the left-hand side. Getting away from Alexander-Arnold. He's trying to race him there. He gets all the way to the line. He keeps it in play. Cross coming in, and that one is cleared out for a throw. But I think Alexander-Arnold will be grateful there, because if Fulham had scored from that, it would have been on him, really. I think.
A little bit. He thought he was going to get there. He tried to out-muscle Iwobi rather than just flick the ball out of play. Iwobi did well to keep it in on the byline, pull the ball back, but again, Van Dijk in the right place at the right time.
On here to Fulham down the left-hand side. Robinson with the throw. Iwobi with the touch. Back to Anthony Robinson, who was just a couple of yards away from where Alex Iwobi had placed that pass. So that is a turnover. It'll be a throw on to Liverpool now, level with the edge of their own penalty area. To restart play here now is Alexander-Arnold. See Arne Slot just beckoning his players to get forward. Still plenty of time left in the game. Liverpool doing exactly the right thing, getting that equaliser as early as possible inside the first few minutes of the second half. They've given the ball away here in midfield, though. Berg now holding it up, going back towards Diop. Square to Castagna. Two Liverpool players in front of him, so he takes no chances. Going all the way back now towards Bernd Leno. Aerial ball out to Robinson on the left-hand side. He heads it on to Iwobi. There's still a good fluidity about the way Fulham keep the ball. It's just they've not seen as much of it in the second half. But these last few minutes should perhaps be a little bit more encouragement to the visitors. They can still do it here against Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the bench on Fulham's options and just wondering whether they might make a change. I don't think necessarily, and I've seen it a couple of times with Andreas Pereira this season, kind of drifts in and out of games pretty badly as I'll break off as here come Fulham away.
Yeah, lovely overlap here down the left from Robinson. He's onside. He gets into the penalty area. He needs a teammate. Puts the ball in, and it's only going to be a goal kick after all of that. Jimenez was waiting at the far post, and he's frustrated with his teammate there that he wasn't the one who was picked out. Wilson was charging in at the near post. He tries to get it on the run, and he gets it all wrong in the end.
Yeah, he almost had too much time here, Anthony Robinson, to make his mind up. He's had 3 or 4 touches, then tried to fizz it in. I'll be honest, I don't think that was the best of runs from Jimenez.
It wasn't the best of runs. It actually wasn't the best ball from Robinson to Wilson either, because it was at the wrong height. Wilson couldn't do too much with it. So that certainly could have been better from Fulham. But again, Liverpool give it away. And it's a chance now for Fulham down the left-hand side. Pereira towards Lukic. Berg now out to Iwobi on the left-hand side, heading towards the penalty area. Iwobi finds Wilson just at the edge of the D. Berg now playing it back towards Castagna. It's just a little bit more confidence from Fulham now in these last few minutes, which will be a worry for Liverpool, because this is how Fulham restricted Liverpool for long spells in the first half.
Yeah, just sort of going back to the point I was making about substitutions. They've got the likes of Smith Rowe and maybe even Adama Traore on the bench, of course, to try and add a few more issues for Liverpool. The last thing you want to do as a 10-man team is to see Adama Traore come on late on with his pace as well. But Fulham on top at the moment.
Yeah, Liverpool pressing high and Fulham are taking advantage. Robinson going for goal. It's not the right option there. Alisson had wandered off his line, and Liverpool playing a high offside line as well. So Robinson suddenly looks up. He's about 25 yards out, and he sees that there might be an opportunity. I mean, if that's on target, it might be Alisson, but there are options to pass as well.
I was trying to work out whether he sliced that or whether he actually went for goal, but I think looking at the replay again, he did go for goal. Yeah, I think it was a bit ambitious. I think Harry Wilson's response probably tells you all you need to know, that he wasn't particularly happy that he didn't play the ball into him.
It's Fulham. Are they going to rule these missed opportunities from crosses? They've not had too many clear-cut chances in this second half, but they've certainly had a lot of promising build-up as Liverpool now looking to get back into the Fulham half. Down the left here with Gomez. Back into Gravenberch. Now it's Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold. He was closed down by Iwobi, but he still plays a long ball up towards Salah. Headed away by Robinson. Lukic. Back towards Jorge Cuenca, then Rob. Oh, he's a lazy leg there from Alexander-Arnold. He's missed it. And this is Iwobi now charging down the left into the penalty area. Puts the ball across. It's another poor cross. Nobody in a Fulham shirt able to get on the end of it, but it's going to be kept in play here on the right by Wilson. Goes back to Castagna. Castagna's ball into the box is charged down. It's back with Berg now. Over to the left-hand side for Iwobi. And then he tries, godness, what was Iwobi trying to do there?
I have no idea. It was almost a back pass.
It almost looked like a back pass from the days when you were allowed to lay the ball off to your keeper and then he could pick it up. I mean, unless he's trying to sort of get some sort of rotation or some sort of outside the boot slice, and he's just got it completely wrong. But no surprise, our TV director is now showing us pictures of Traore warming up, because there's every chance that he could be coming on for Iwobi.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I think Liverpool need to probably make a change in the next 5 minutes or so. A lot of these players have run themselves into the ground this afternoon.
Midfield or attacking three? Or?
I would probably say midfield in particular. I mean, I think Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones are almost a 2-man midfield.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's got Endo and Elliott, I think, as the 2 best replacements for that position there on. It's like Liverpool on the attack with the ball in from the right-hand side. It's cleared by Diop. It's kept alive here in midfield by Alexander-Arnold. It's now back with Mo Salah. His ball into the box, headed away by Diop again. And now Berg with the ball towards Wilson, who's got a lot of traffic in front of him. He goes back towards his goalkeeper. Good clearance there from Leno up towards the halfway line. Played forward by Alexander-Arnold. Back towards Gravenberch on the halfway line. We're now just looking to try and get into a bit more possession after that little spell there for Fulham. It's now on the left with Cody Gakpo. Some space here trying to take on Castagna. Gets it back onto his right foot. The pass is away from Luis Diaz, but then Diaz wins the ball back for Liverpool at the edge of the area. Then he's dispossessed. He wants a free kick. He's not going to get it. And Jimenez brings the ball out now for Fulham. And suddenly there on the counter is Harry Wilson getting into the box. His cross was aimed at Iwobi. Takes a slight deflection. It will still stay in play. Iwobi is going to be able to keep this ball alive for Fulham down the left-hand side. Fulham are pushing forward here, and it's an attempt from Lukic, which goes wide for a corner after a big deflection. But he gets lucky there, Lukic. That was the wrong option to shoot. He's virtually his body position wasn't right. There wasn't really much of a run-up to it, and it never looked like it was going on target even before the deflection.
I think he thought, I've run all this way to the edge of the penalty area, I'm going to have a shot myself here now, which clearly was the wrong choice, as you say, Paul. He had options to swing it into. That was disappointing from Luis Diaz a second or so ago, because he did ever so well to win the ball back, and then he's just cheaply giving away possession.
Yeah, just waiting for a free kick that I don't think he was ever going to get. Sometimes you see players just stopping, assuming the referee will think there's a foul, but there wasn't. Now, a low corner coming in from Castagna. It's easily swept clear. I think Iwobi was the intended target. A bit of a heavy touch there from Szczerbakowicz, but that actually helps him out to getting the ball a bit further. He's going on and on and on. He lays the ball up to Salah. Salah goes for goal, and it's wide. It's just wide from Mo Salah. It's a classic Liverpool move. They've beaten some of the best teams in the league by scoring these lovely counter-attacks from corners, and it's very often Mo Salah with the starring role. But on this occasion, his effort goes wide. Do you think Szczerbakowicz held on to it for too long?
I do, and I also think he possibly should have gone to Diaz, Paul, because I thought that he had more, sort of a better angle from the right-hand side of the penalty area. Surprised does not see the net bulge though when Salah hits it from there. Maybe he should have gone across Leno. In the end, he tried to sneak it in at the near post, but for a minute there, Liverpool were 3-on-2 going forward.
Liverpool were 3-on-2. It's still 0-0. I'm just checking the game out to the Emirates. Arsenal with 11 efforts on goal, 5 of which have been on target. Just the one effort from Everton, which was off target. 74% possession in that game, but it's still 0-0, which will be great news for all fans of a Liverpool persuasion. But they're going to be under more pressure in Liverpool with Berg pushing forward. His ball into the box. It's aimed at Jimenez. That's really good covering once again from Gravenberch. He's done more good work in defence than in attack, really, this afternoon. And as you say, it may well be that he's been the one told to just sit back a little bit deeper out of those two holding midfielders.
Yeah, he's almost been as a centre-half, hasn't he, since Andy Robertson has gone off. And not once but twice in this second half he's come up with crucial interceptions. Just then, of course, and of course earlier on with that last-ditch sliding challenge on Robinson, as we're going to see Fulham make a change very shortly. Emil Smith-Rowe is stripped off and ready to come on. Do we think Harry Wilson might be the man to go?
I think it might be Wilson. It could also be the goal scorer Pereira with a yellow card as well.
Non-existent in the second half, to be honest.
Darwin Nunez getting ready to come on for Liverpool as well, so that might be the end of the afternoon for Luis Diaz. But in the meantime, Fulham are going forward here, and it's a ball played towards the edge of the area. There was an offside there that Liverpool were appealing. The offside flag doesn't go up. There's a man down for Liverpool at the edge of the area, but Fulham play on. It's now with Iwobi. He goes for goal, and the effort is a long way over the bar. The frustration for Fulham initially was that Jimenez was in an offside position, so he leaves the ball. Then it's almost like he gets into Harry Wilson's way.
He does. He was literally... Harry Wilson, I think, was expecting him to go for it, Jimenez, not realising that he was offside. Curtis Jones has gone down. I think he thought he was caught after the first shot from Fulham. The referee says, play on. Just watching it again now. It was Lukic that went in, banged it again. In fact, it actually... The shot twisted Curtis Jones' ankle and he's gone down in some pain, and I just wonder whether he might have to come off.
Well, we've seen more of these. I just wonder if it's the way that the footballs these days are just pumped up under such pressure that they are. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe that a football today is harder than what it was, say, 50, 60 years ago, but I think it's just the way in which some players control the ball now. I've seen a couple of players with ankle and even knee injuries from where the ball has struck them. But yeah, confirmation, double change here for Fulham. Andreas Pereira and Raul Jimenez are going off, and it's Emil Smith-Rowe coming on to replace Pereira. And we'll just confirm who the other substitute is. It's going to be Rodrigo Muniz. So it's a like for like with an attacking midfielder and a forward replaced by the same.
Yeah, it's as you were, I suppose, in terms of Fulham's formation. Smith-Rowe with fresh legs will be a real concern for Liverpool at this stage of the game with just over 20 minutes to go. They are obviously tiring at this time, having played for a long period with 10 men.
Yeah, and so credit to Fulham and their sporting directors. It's not a bad arrangement, really, to have all these players that are no longer wanted at Arsenal, but are still very much Premier League players. Look at someone like Leno, of course, and Smith-Rowe now as well. Excellent, so that Fulham were able to get him into their ranks, and we'll see what he can do in this final quarter of the game, because we're at 69 minutes now. It is still Fulham 1, it is Liverpool 1, Fulham 1, and it will be Warren to take us through to full time.
Thanks, Paul. Liverpool in possession inside their own half at the moment. I can tell you there's been an equaliser at Molineux. Wolves 1, Ipswich 1 is the scoreline there, which might well have just kept Gary O'Neill in the job for at least another week.
Ipswich supporting colleague did warn us that there was going to be a chance that Wolves would come back in that game just because of the way Ipswich aren't the best at sitting back. But a double change for Liverpool now.
It is. It's going to be Gerald Quansah and Darwin Nunez coming on. Interesting to see who goes off. We assume
Jones is the first one.
Yeah, Curtis Jones, having hurt his ankle, will be one of those making way. And he applauds the cop on his way off, Curtis Jones. Doesn't seem to be moving too badly now. I think it's just a little bit of a twist of his ankle off that shot earlier. Gerald Quansah comes on to replace him. And just wanting to see now whether Darwin Núñez will come on for Cody Gakpo in the end. The goal scorer is the man who comes off. So Núñez, I'm assuming, will go through the middle, and we'll see Diaz move out wide now.
That would make sense. That's normally the case when these three have played for Liverpool in the past. Núñez playing through the middle with Diaz on the left and Salah on the right. But here come Fulham.
Yeah, down the left-hand side. Dangerous here. Cutting back in field with Lukic. Ball towards the back post is not a great cross. Gomez does well to get over there and beat Harry Wilson to the ball. Plays it down the line now towards Diaz. Nice little triangle of play which sees Gravenberch run clear up over halfway. Gravenberch with good feet get away from these Fulham man and then plays it down the line to Diaz. Diaz is away down the left-hand side. Pulls the ball back. Salah inside the area. And nearly leads to Szoboszlai and then shot himself and has curled it over the angle of post and bar. I think he probably made the right decision in the end, Mo Salah, there, because I think, Paul, he was probably a little bit too close to Szoboszlai just to play it into his path.
I just wonder whether Salah could have hit this first time as soon as he got the ball in the box across there from Luis Diaz. I mean, there was a Fulham player close to him, so maybe he felt like he needed to get a bit more space. But in doing that, he just pushes himself a little bit over to the left, and then the curling effort is always wide of the mark. But I think you're right. I think there probably was a little bit too close. If he lays that off to Szoboszlai, there's going to be a defender getting in the way of that.
Yeah, definitely. Back to Leno. In possession, tries to spread the play over to this near side, and Robinson, who's closed down very quickly by Alexander-Arnold. Decent ball though up towards Muniz, and the layoff will find Iwobi, who throws two dummies before playing a lovely ball out to the right hand side now to Emil Smith-Rowe. Harry Wilson goes on the run and the ball's overhit again. And Fulham, the frustration off the back of this game, even if they go on and win it, will be the fact that their last ball in the final third has let them down.
Too many times in this game, when you think of the number of crosses and through balls that have just been overhit, inaccurate, and it's making it easier for Liverpool, who were under real pressure in that first half. It's almost as though Fulham have just taken that pressure off and Liverpool have taken advantage.
Liverpool have possession at the back at the moment as Van Dijk goes back to Alisson, and now it's with Joe Gomez on the edge of the penalty area. I'm just trying to work out. Gerald Quansah has gone in. It's almost three centre-backs now. Quansah, Van Dijk and Gomez. Alexander-Arnold's gone into kind of midfield sitting role, and Gravenberch has gone back into midfield as well. So not a bad ball from Alexander-Arnold. Almost got Salah away, but Robinson read it well and plays it back to Leno, who now plays it out to that right-hand side, and Castagna plays it infield and keeps possession well to Berg. Smith-Rowe under serious pressure from Szoboszlai does well, plays it back to Castagna again. Up towards Muniz. Muniz plays the ball round the corner to Harry Wilson. Liverpool thought he might have been offside. I think Harry Wilson thought he was offside and stopped, and enabled Van Dijk and Gomez to get back in and win the ball back. Liverpool have the ball now over the top from Szoboszlai onto the run of Darwin Núñez. He's got Mo Salah waiting for a cross in the middle. Szoboszlai on the edge of the penalty area. Núñez is held up by the Fulham back line, so he has to go back now towards Diaz, and Liverpool just slow things down with around about 17 minutes left of normal time left to go. Liverpool 1, Fulham 1 in this unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Alexander-Arnold plays it along the back line to Quansah, and now down the line it goes towards Salah. Salah now under pressure from Robinson, plays it short again to Alexander-Arnold. He'll play the ball out to the left-hand side, and Gravenberch. You feel that there's still another sting in the tail here somewhere from either of these two teams as we move into the final quarter of the game. The ball is played out to the left-hand side, and Diaz tries to play it down the line towards Gomez. He got a deflection, goes out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. It's an interesting one, Paul. If you're on a sort sat there now, do you think, actually, do you know what, a point's not a bad result with 10 men?
I think that he would always want his team to just go that little bit more and try and go for the win. But if you'd asked him that after 10 or 15 minutes in the second half, he would have said, no, we're going to win this game. But now, after the last 10 or 15, possibly, I think maybe he would be a little bit more pragmatic, because Fulham have shown a little bit more fight as well.
They have, as Alexander-Arnold has it 50 yards from goal, plays it on to Quansah. Quansah striding forward towards the edge of the box, thought better of the shot, played it short to Salah. Salah tried to cross it, but is blocked by Robinson and comes back to Alexander-Arnold, midway inside the Fulham half. Alexander-Arnold now needs an option to try and pass the ball to. Eventually he has to go short to Quansah, and Quansah goes all the way back to Alisson, who's midway inside his own half here now, in order to try and work as a keeper-sweeper, really, and try and keep Fulham honest and chasing the ball. Alisson again has it on the edge of the penalty area with just over 15 minutes left of normal time left to go. The Brazilian is closed down here by Iwobi, so he plays it wide to Gomez. Gomez again will have to go back to Alisson. Smith Rowe charges him down, but Alisson fires the ball forward towards Szoboszlai. It's going to fall into the path of Alexander-Arnold inside the centre circle. Needs an option, plays it on now towards Darwin Núñez. Núñez holds off the challenge of two Fulham players, has the ball out on the left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold now with his right foot swings it in deep towards the back post, looking for Salah, but it was too deep, and Robinson does well to allow that to drift behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just letting it go. I mean, the quality of delivery from both sides at times this afternoon has been a little bit off. I've been sort of more focusing on Fulham because the number of attacks they've had that haven't been finished off with a good ball have been frustrating. But then that said, there's been some poor distribution from Liverpool as well.
It has, but still, this game is in the balance with 15 minutes to go. 1-1 it remains as Castagna heads it infield towards Berg. Sander Berg plays it back to Castagna, and now into a central position where Teddy Lukic will play it out to Robinson. And now down the line from Wilson towards Iwobi. Robinson's gone on the overlap again here. Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to get across. Quansah stays with Robinson. The ball in, and it's flicked in. It's flicked in at the near post by Muniz. And Fulham have the lead again with 15 minutes to go. Great bit of build-up play down the left-hand side. Quansah didn't know whether to put in a challenge on Robinson or whether to allow him to try and cross the ball in. He got it in, and Muniz got there just ahead of his marker to flick it in at the far post, and Liverpool are behind again.
Liverpool are behind again. Their goalkeeper Alisson is still down, but this is so frustrating from Arne Slot's side because they've looked so good at the start of this second half, but with every 5-10 minute spell, it just seems as though their sort of ideas are just fading, and Fulham just seem to be growing into the game again. And we'll see here, it's Fulham starting in possession a long way off inside their own half. And then as the ball is played to Iwobi down the left, nobody gets close to him. There's an overlap from Robinson. As that ball is played, Robinson is onside. It's a good ball across from Robinson. And Alisson, if anything, I don't know if it's his own defender that takes him out there, Gomez or Muniz, but one of the players crashing into, I think it's more Joe Gomez that crashes into Alisson, but so frustrating from Arne Slot's point of view. But from Fulham's point of view, credit to them. They rode out a bit of a storm at the start of the second half, and now they're in front again.
They are indeed. Muniz, the substitute, is the man who will be credited it. It's actually flicked off Muniz and then off Joe Gomez's foot and into the far corner. I certainly think Muniz will want to claim it, and Joe Gomez won't want anything to do with an own goal. Either way, Fulham lead, and their fans celebrate in the bottom tier of the Anfield Road stand because they are now in front again, and with 13 minutes left to go, it is all for Liverpool to do here now. Alisson receiving some treatment at the minute just to make sure that he can carry on between the posts, but well, it's been a strange old game, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a fascinating game, and no surprise, Arne Slot says straight away looking to make a double change here for Liverpool. You can see there is going to be, it looks like it's going to be Diogo Jota and Morton getting ready to come on.
Yeah, Tyler Morton might well be thrown into the midfield in a moment to try and add some fresh legs. Alisson, I think he's got a bit of a cut on his cheek after that collision. He is going to be all right to carry on, though, says the Liverpool physio. So Alisson will carry on, but Liverpool now, as I say, have to respond again. They've got 12 minutes of normal time plus stoppages to find another equaliser. Muniz can't hide his delight. Not surprisingly, having come on as a sub, he's got the goal, and I'm going to tell you that they're going to bring off here Dominic Szoboszlai, and I imagine that Tyler Morton will be the man replacing him. He is indeed. Sorry, no, it's not. It's Harvey Elliott, in fact, who's coming on, yeah. So Harvey Elliott comes on for Szoboszlai, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to come off
for Diogo Jota. So yeah, so this is a break in formation then from Arne Slot, but I suppose at this stage, if Liverpool absolutely, if they concede a third goal here, so what? But they need to try and get a second goal themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to just try and throw caution to the wind here. Slightly surprised it was Alexander-Arnold that he decided to bring off, but he's got his back three now, and of course he's got midfielders who have been added to the system recently as well, as Van Dijk plays it short to Gerald Quansah on halfway. Needs an option, finds Van Dijk again inside the centre circle, and now with Gomez, down the left hand side it goes, and Diaz now back to Van Dijk again inside the centre circle, strides up over halfway, plays it short to Gomez. Liverpool with that man less, of course, and a lack of space really now as Gomez tries to run forward. It has to go backwards to keep possession. Gerald Quansah will cross up over halfway. He's got Harvey Elliott in support. Instead he goes up to Salah. Salah has it temporarily taken off him and it's going to fall to Elliott. Elliott dinks one down the line to Jota. Jota's going to keep it in play. Swings the cross in towards the area. Headed away by Sander Berge. Miscontrolled in the end by Quansah. And that's a foul by Gravenberch on Muniz. And it will be a free kick to Fulham. Midway inside their own half, and they'll be in no rush to take that. That was disappointing, particularly from Harvey Elliott, who completely miscontrols the ball.
He does. I mean, we're getting another replay of this goal here from Fulham. And yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure if Muniz gets much of a touch on that at all. Looking at that super slow-mo, it might be all Gomez's own goal there.
I think he's slightly, if you look, he just about nicks it, I think, with his foot first. Then it comes off Gomez and kind of loops into the far corner.
It's a difficult one, that, for the dubious goals panel to work out. But as you say, it's one of those where the goal scorer wants it and the defender doesn't want the own goal. So I think both will be happy if it's given that way. But
if you're Joe Gomez as well, you've done your job. You've done what you needed to do and get back in there. It's one of those unfortunate incidents where there's very little you can do that close to goal. Ball's launched over the top, this time by Liverpool for Salah. Salah will get there ahead of Robinson, down on the near corner at the Kop end. Back towards Elliott. Elliott, 30 yards from goal, will play it in short to Darwin Núñez, who's very deep at the moment. Elliott back to the halfway line again, and Virgil van Dijk. We're into the final 10 minutes of normal time. Here come Liverpool down that left-hand side with Diaz. Diaz now goes past Smith Rowe, still going across the pitch. We'll play it to Quansah. Quansah on the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed ball in, headed away by Lukic. And Muniz will pick up the piece again. Goes down very easily under the challenge from Van Dijk. Referee waves away the appeals. And Elliott dinks the ball in towards the area. Jota nearly had it. Forced to Salah. Salah still inside the box. And it's scrambled away by Fulham, only as far as Elliott. On his left foot, curls one. Oh, and he's just wide of the far post. Well, it just wouldn't fall for Mo Salah inside the penalty area. You thought he was going to pull the trigger. Harvey Elliott waving his arms to the Kop in an attempt to try and get the crowd up for it a little bit more. But inside the penalty area, the ball was bouncing around. Fulham couldn't get it clear. And how close was this, Paul?
It was very close. From the camera angle that we have, I actually thought it was going in when we first saw it. It was just heading towards goal with then a little bit more height, a little bit more curl. It just takes it away from that top corner, but it was a very, very good effort that from Harvey Elliott. And a warning to Fulham, of course, the Liverpool are going to be fighting until the very last minute.
They are indeed, and they've given the ball away cheaply again here, Fulham, and it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool, 25 yards from goal, taken quickly, and the referee says, no, you can't do that. The ball was still moving. Darwin Núñez, but it's going to be a yellow card as well for Sander Berge, because he's pulled back Núñez as he gave the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. It's absolutely crazy from Fulham.
It is. I mean, Berge's been forced to do that because of his teammates messing about with the ball in the first place. But once he gets to that position, he doesn't care about the yellow card. He just wants to stop Núñez getting away from him.
Free kick to Liverpool. It's around about, I would say, in between 25 and 30 yards from goal. It's over on the left-hand side, pretty much in line with the edge of the penalty area. Harvey Elliott's over it. Plenty of red jerseys in and around the box and a solid white line of shirts as well. As Elliott takes it left-footed, swings it in towards the area. The header is off target from Darwin Núñez. Probably should have done better. I'm not saying he should have scored, but I would have thought from there it was almost a free header. He probably should have hit the target.
Well, he'll be looking at
behind him, I suppose.
Yeah, it was just a little bit behind him, but the header in the end wasn't really threatening the goal. We just needed to try and get a little bit more of an angle on that one, as we see Arne Slot just discussing something with his bench there. So Liverpool have already made 4 changes. But it was in 2 blocks of 2, so they have potentially got one more change left if they want to use it.
Yeah. Scores remain the same elsewhere. Arsenal 0, Everton 0. They're in the 90th minute of the Emirates. It is 4-0 to Newcastle against Leicester, and Wolves 1, Ipswich 1. Here come Liverpool with Diaz on the left-hand side. Through towards Jota. Can he get there? No, he can't. It's good defending in the end from Suenko, who comes across and prods the ball away. He gets a high five from Diop as well. Thought for a minute Diego Jota was through on goal.
Well, he would have been had it not been for Cuenca's challenge there. It's getting hotter and hotter in front of Lena's goal now. To say it's really going to take a lot of concentration for Fulham, because there's going to be a bit of injury time to come as well.
You'd think that Liverpool were going to get at least one more big chance here to try and bag another goal. Will it be enough to claim them at least a point in this game, as Harvey Elliott comes off the right-hand side and plays the ball out to the left and finds Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch now playing probably about his 4th position of the afternoon at the moment, plays it to Van Dijk, onto Quansah again. Out wide it goes now to Salah. Salah does brilliantly to turn away from Robinson. Plays it into Elliott. Elliott back to Salah. Can he get there on the byline? Pulls it back. Wasn't confident on his weaker right foot, really, and he's played it low into the arms of Leno. It was brilliant from Salah originally, but he just couldn't find the key ball.
The work to get the ball into the box was superb. The actual ball in itself wasn't that good. It was always too close to the goalkeeper. There's not much chance of anyone in a red shirt getting on the end of it either.
No, Fulham have given the ball away again to Liverpool on the halfway line, and when they need to keep the ball, Fulham, that's when they've been at their worst. They just attack really well on the break and cause Liverpool all sorts of problems, but when they've been in front, they've given the ball away cheaply. Here's Jota on the edge of the penalty, and Diego Jota, and there's the equaliser, and he is the most lethal finisher in this Liverpool squad, and with 5 minutes left to go, he turns brilliantly on the edge of the penalty area, and you knew, one-on-one, he always fancied himself to score, right-footed, he sends Leno the wrong way, and we're all level at 2-2.
We are level at 2-2. That Fulham midfield and that Fulham defence, they're not moving back or moving forward quickly enough. There was a chance to try and play Jota offside there, but once that ball reaches him, he's more than on. It's a superb turn just to get that ball away quickly from the onrushing Jorge Cuenca. Once he's in front of Leno, he actually dummies him as if he's to trying to score a penalty. Leno just angles himself over to the left, and the ball goes over to the right. And a big reaction now from Arne Slot. He knows that's a big point this side have just saved, with time potentially to go for all 3.
It's huge indeed, as Liverpool are back on level terms for the second time in this game. Surely they can't win it from here with 10 men, but Diego Jota has certainly been missed in recent weeks. He is back now, and he is back on the score sheet. As Fulham make another change, Harry Wilson's going to come off. He's had a bit of a complaint towards the bench on the way off, but he's been replaced by Adama Traore. So the pace threat is there for Fulham in these latter stages, as Quansah makes a mistake trying to head the ball back to his goalkeeper, and he heads it behind for a Fulham corner.
Yeah, well, there's to say, Liverpool aren't out of the woods in this game yet. They've had a few moments in this game where they've looked very nervy in defence. They've made a couple of errors in terms of how they've tried to play out from the back, and that's miscued header there from Quansah is good proof of it. Still a chance in now for Fulham from the set piece.
There is indeed. We are into the final 3 minutes of normal time, plus whatever the officials decide to add on for stoppages. 2-2 it is. A corner on this near side to be taken right-footed by Lukic. In towards the back post, up go the heads. It's over everybody, and it drifts behind for a goal kick. Liverpool will breathe a huge sigh of relief after seeing that go behind. And again, they're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, thinking we could actually go and win this game, but at the same time, they don't want to lose it.
No, there's still enough of a threat in this Fulham team, and we've seen, even when it looked like Liverpool were in the ascendancy in the second half, Fulham went up the other end, had a good spell, and they actually managed to retake the lead. But Liverpool, they're on the attack, lose the ball, and now potentially a chance for Fulham. Yeah,
Iwobi on the halfway line, turns away well from Harvey Elliott. Elliott gets a foot in, and then Darwin Núñez lunges into a tackle. I think he's going to be yellow carded here, is the Uruguayan. He dived into the tackle on the Fulham man.
Well, with this referee, he will be. Again, there's been a few yellow cards that have been quite harsh, but once the referee set that tone early on, we'll see here, the ball is there to be won. And he actually does tread on the ball first, but it's the fact that he's sliding in with the raised stud. I think that's always going to be what the referee sees as the most important.
You're always going to get it given against you, aren't you, with your studs up. So Robertson's been sent off. There's been yellow cards for Jones, Núñez and Diaz for Liverpool. Yellow cards also for Berge, Robinson, Diop for Fulham. And
Pereira, who's got off as well.
Pereira as well, yeah. Yes. And Slot was yellow carded for complaining earlier as well, as Gomez has to chase Adama Traore here. Adama Traore thought he was going to get to the ball, but Gomez does well enough to shepherd it out for a goal kick. They're still playing in the other 3 games, which started the second half much more before us. So just wonder how much added on time we're going to get at Anfield. As the ball's played out wide by Jota towards Harvey Elliott. Elliott on towards Salah. It wasn't the best of balls, but it comes back to Salah, and Salah gets away from 2 Fulham players. Still going. Robinson does well to dispossess him, and then there's a coming together between him and Jota inside the penalty area, and it will be a Fulham free kick. Well, it's just one error after another at the moment. It's clearly down to tired legs and tired minds, Paul, but one player gives it away and then the other gives it straight back.
Yeah, it's an infectious thing, isn't it? Once one team starts to lose the ball, it goes over towards the others. Robinson does well here to win the ball back initially. He then gets brought down.
I think it was Núñez who actually tripped him over in the end.
As I say, I'm not sure there was... the ball's there to be won, but see what, it's quite a clumsy one that from Núñez, and then Diogo Jota falling on the back of Anthony Robinson as well, so he had a couple of knocks there.
whack to the back of the head. We're into the final minute of normal time. Still waiting for the board to come up from the fourth official as to how much added on time we're going to have. As Leno now on the edge of his penalty area clears it long, right-footed downfield, headed away well by Van Dijk up towards the halfway line. Robinson beats Nunes, but Jota flicks it on back towards the Fulham end. Well, won in the end by Sander Berge in midfield, and Muniz, who thought he'd scored the winner, tries to win the ball back, but Liverpool have it back on this right-hand side. Jota, who's closed down quickly by Lukic, but Jota does ever so well, and then dinks a ball to the back post. Leno! Oh, I thought he was going to miss it for a minute. He just got a fingertip to it, and there was a Liverpool player coming round the back to head it in.
Superb that from Leno in the end. I mean, we're going to get 9 minutes of added time. Must admit, we've had some injuries and stoppages, but looking at the two halves, I wouldn't have thought we had a quarter of an hour of lost time altogether, so it's a bit of a surprise that. But yeah, the one from Leno there, once he's come out that far in his area, he's got to get something on the ball, because otherwise it's just going to be a real problem. But we're getting word of a late goal at Molineux. We'll tell you about that in just a second, but in the meantime, is this corner for Liverpool? Yeah, it is going to be left-footed. The full-time whistle's gone at the Emirates. 0-0 it's finished between Arsenal and Everton. Harvey Elliott in towards the 6-yard box, going to fall to Salah inside the area. Iwobi does ever so well to get a block on it. It hits him in the unspeakables, and he's now just kicked the ball out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. He needs some treatment, Alex Iwobi, and that might add a little bit more of added on time. Yeah, absolutely. Iwobi in real trouble there. As we can see Salah setting it. Oh dear. I mean, just from a yard away. Yeah, a Mo Salah left-footed volleyed effort into the nether regions from a yard away. I think any man right now is feeling that, thinking, oh God, no thank you. No. But so hopefully there won't be anything too serious there for Iwobi. Both himself and his missus will be hoping that same. But in the game at Molineux, it's now Wolves 1, Ipswich 2. The newly promoted Ipswich with a goal from Jack Taylor, the Irish midfielder, scoring in the 4th minute of injury time there. So Gary O'Neill's job, which we were talking about potentially being saved after that equaliser, could be on the line again now. I'm not quite sure why Iwobi's still down and not getting any treatment. The referee's telling him to get up. But he's been down for ages now, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. The full-time whistle's gone, by the way, at St James's Park. Newcastle 4, Leicester 0 is how it's finished. We have got at least another 7 minutes, plus potentially more than that, as Elliott swings the ball in towards the area, headed away by Diop. It's going to fall to Salah in the area. Good challenge from Suenka, who again slides in, last ditch to get it away. Robinson attempts to play the ball down the line and gets a deflection off Van Dijk, and goes out of play for a Fulham throw-in, despite Harvey Elliott attempting to try and take. In fact, no, it's been turned round. Wow. It's a Liverpool throw-in now. That's not the first time that's happened today, where decision's been given in favour of one team and then it's been overturned. Well, I mean, the referee makes every decision, ultimately. And technically, the referee could actually overrule an offside, even without VAR, if he feels he's seen something. But I mean, that to me seemed obvious that the ball deflected off Van Dijk, unless he was suggesting that the ball was already out of play when he got a touch on it. But it seemed like a strange one. It almost, without sort of being too controversial, it almost seems like it was a home decision. The crowd reacted and the referee goes, all right, will it be a home throw then, as the ball is played into the penalty area and Jota still gets there first. Jota plays it back to Van Dijk. Brilliant block from Robinson. It's still inside the area. It comes now, falls to Diaz. Diaz can't get his shot away. Eventually does. It's blocked. Jota still there inside the area. Deflected and up over the bar. And somehow Fulham are still level, because for a moment there it looked like Liverpool had to score. Well, it looked like Liverpool were going to win the game from this point, but it's lovely work from Jota to get the ball into the box. Van Dijk smashes it. It's great work in defence there, stopping the initial effort from Van Dijk. Diaz arguably holding onto the ball for too long, but there were too many Fulham bodies in the way. He had to try and do something. Jota eventually gets the shot away, but it's a big deflection. Out for a corner kick to Liverpool, which will be taken by Harvey Elliott. Well, the home team are in the ascendancy here in stoppage time. We've played 3.5 minutes of added on time. Elliott's corner into the box. It wasn't a great header from Sander Berge, but it eventually falls into the arms of Bernd Leno. Takes it very gratefully indeed. And we have got around about 5 minutes still left of added on time. You would think it was Fulham at the moment who were trying to hold on with 10 men. But Liverpool, a man down, 2-2 at this stage. Diego Jota has had a big impact. Not only, of course, scoring that goal, but also just his general play since coming on as a substitute.
Alex Iwobi is still feeling the effects of that ball between the legs earlier on. He's still down on his haunches a little bit at the moment.
Well, the trouble for Fulham is that they've made 3 separate substitutions. Now, they brought on 4 players, but in 3 separate blocks, so they can't, unless there's a head injury, they can't take Iwobi off here now. And I think Marco Silva, I'm not sure what he's frustrated about there necessarily, but his side have briefly got the ball in attack.
Yeah, they have. Traore is beaten to it, though, on this occasion by Quansah, and the ball is played forward by Liverpool. The chase is on for Darwin Núñez as Diop plays it back towards Leno. Leno now will clear it long, right-footed downfield. Gomez wins the header up towards halfway, where Van Dijk is almost playing as a central midfielder. Gravenberch, it comes back off Lukic straight to Gravenberch, and now Liverpool have it with Núñez on the left-hand side. Infield it goes towards Elliott on the edge of the penalty area. Elliott's got Salah for some support on the edge of the box. Elliott goes on the overlap. Salah can't smuggle it through to him. Him and Robinson in a real battle, and Robinson comes away with it and is now away down the left-hand side. Liverpool trying to get back in numbers. Iwobi's up in support. He's got 2 or 3 white jerseys waiting for a cross. Iwobi slows it down, plays it to Smith Rowe on the edge of the penalty area. Smith Rowe now onto Adama Traore. Traore with a shot, saved by Alisson and cleared away first by Quansah and now by Gravenberch. It was one of those where you thought Traore could well pull the trigger and find the winner.
Well, it's too many players that are building up in the box there from Liverpool's point of view. Fulham had a man over there. The effort from Traore was a decent one, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. Alisson makes the save. There's a body check there on Mo Salah from Robinson. Robinson felt as though there was nothing wrong with that. It was all within the rules, and the referee agrees, but Arne Slot doesn't.
If you've heard me on commentary for Fulham before, you'll possibly remember how many times I've said that I do think he's very underrated, Anthony Robinson. I think he's had an excellent game again for Fulham this afternoon at full-back, as we see the Traore chance again. Really well done from Alisson, low down. He had to react with his right arm.
He did. I mean, I always prefer players to try and shoot across the goalkeeper with it. I mean, Alisson, as you say, he still has to get down and make the save, but it is a near-post save. You would expect a goalkeeper of his quality to be able to deal with that. There may have also been scope there for Traore to try and play it square to Rodrigo Muniz as well.
I think he just went for power in the end, didn't he, hoping for the best.
Well, that's Traore's default setting, really, isn't it? I think it's an overused expression about him, but for all the pace and strength, you just wish there was just a little bit more final ball from him as well.
Ball back from Jota to Van Dijk, in towards Diaz on halfway. Diaz does well to find Gomez. Gomez's path is blocked off by Traore, so he has to come back to Van Dijk, who plays a diagonal ball over to this near side. Harvey Elliott does well to bring it down, and he keeps possession, finds Quansah. Quansah midway inside the Fulham half, still going across the pitch, goes back towards Van Dijk. Van Dijk under pressure from Iwobi has to go back to Quansah, and in turn he'll go all the way back into his own half to find Alisson, who's pretty much on the halfway line inside the centre circle. Diagonal ball over to the left hand side. Diaz does well to win the header, but he can't find a red jersey, but it's in very quickly is Gomez to win it back. Back to Diaz, on towards Van Dijk, forward to Gravenberch. Gravenberch moves away from Lukic, in towards Jota. Jota on the edge of the area finds Gravenberch. Out wide now to Elliott, on the edge of the box. Elliott swings the ball in left-footed, headed away by Sander Berge. Elliott brings it down again. We are into the 8th minute of added on time. Here's Quansah on the right. Quansah's ball in is headed away, this time by Suenka. Only as far as Quansah again, and he plays it off the legs of Robinson. It'll be a corner kick.
Yes, we've got just under 90 seconds of the 9 minutes that should be played. I think you mentioned they're probably going to be a minute or two on top of that because of the injuries we've had during that 9-minute spell. So there's still a little bit of time here, and it's going to be another corner kick from Harvey Elliott.
It is indeed. What is the delivery going to be like this time around? Van Dijk, Quansah, Gomez all in the middle to add a little bit of height. Liverpool going for it late on in stoppage time. Here's Elliott's delivery, left-footed. It's a really poor one, headed away easily on the edge of the 6-yard box, only as far as Gravenberch. Back to Elliott again. Gravenberch goes on the overlap. Elliott swings a ball in. Is it too close to Leno? He punches it away. Jota gets ahead to it again. It's still bouncing around in the area. Salah, a handball. It did seem to strike somebody's arm. I wondered who it was, and it was Salah in the end who's penalised. That might be that, and I say might because we've had all sorts in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit unlucky there, Mo Salah. He's not made any intentional movement to stop the ball with his arm, but again, his arm being there has given him a big advantage. The referee can't ignore that, and it is a free kick to Fulham. And as you say, by the time Leno clears this, we would have had the full 9 minutes.
Yeah, just wonder whether Tony Harrington will add a little bit more extra time on because of a couple of the issues that we've had with injuries and incidents in the game, particularly with Iwobi late on, of course, as well. Long ball from Leno out to this near side. Muniz can't keep it in play. It'll be a Liverpool throw-in, 30 yards from their own goal. And Gerald Quansah is needing somebody to show. Eventually Jota does. Back to Quansah again. Quansah now decides to go long, right-footed, down the line, up towards Nunes. Nunes is beaten in the air by Suenka. It's going to be a throw-in to Elliott, midway inside the Fulham half. Takes it quickly. Jota tries to play it down the line. Iwobi nips in. Elliott will win it back. And in fact, there is the referee's whistle. It's been an unbelievable game at Anfield, and it's a share of the spoils. Liverpool have come from behind twice. It has finished at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Fulham 2.